Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And before I get this video started, I just want to make a quick PSA. And this is very important, more so than ever. I've done this testing very extensively in the background over the last few days, specifically. And it's now very important that you guys that have been following my channel, have been watching my videos, if you are a T-Mobile customer, it is now very important for you to start shifting towards a 5G device. I know some of you are still in a leasing or you're still paying off your device. Even you may be a Sprint customer that still has an outstanding lease that needs to be paid off. And it doesn't have to be immediate, but I think over the next few months, you guys have to start shifting into 5G devices. Why do I say that? I've been testing in the background with a 5G iPhone and an LTE iPhone. The performance difference between the two technologies is so lopsided now. I call it T-Mobile starving the LTE network. Is that necessarily the proper wording to use here? Likely not. But they are starving its LTE network. It's getting more and more apparent. I'm starting to notice it in many areas. And this is testing same area from the same cell site, same sector, LTE versus 5G. In a lot of these areas, the LTE device was getting 2-3 megabits per second, where the 5G device is getting 400-500 megabits per second. I mean, the experience in performance is so lopsided. The LTE device becomes not necessarily unusable, but the experience is different. So it's 360p, 480p quality streaming on the LTE device, where I can do 2160p on the 5G device, and both are on the Magenta Max. And it's not that the quality is lowered on the LTE device. It's all it can do with the speeds that it's getting. So it's tapping out on the performance. And I predict once more migrations are done with the Sprint side, the band 41 spectrum that is still allocated to LTE right now on the non-anchor network, and then, some of T-Mobile's towers still have 1 or 2 carriers of band 41 on LTE. That will be shifted towards 5G as well. There will be a point in time in the midterm where all of that band 41 spectrum will move to 5G. That's going to naturally happen. Neville stated that in some of the pre-merger talks in recent conferences. It was very well stated that spectrum would be reallocated specifically for 5G. So again, 5G is going to be where the experience is. Again, I'm not telling you should immediately go out and get a new phone. That's not what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is, per my recommendation, is start shifting towards 5G. Get your mindset ready to, okay, we need to start upgrading to get the better experience. LTE for T-Mobile it's not where it's at anymore. It's not. It just isn't. They're not putting any emphasis towards it anymore. There's no additional upgrades that are happening. If a new cell site does go up in your area, most of the spectrum, the larger bandwidth, is still going to be on 5G. So yes, LTE may improve because of the new cell site that goes up in your area, but most of the bandwidth is still shifted towards 5G. And I predict the same to happen with the HSPA shutdown in October. Those spectrum resources will likely be reallocated to 5G. And the same with the CDMA shutdown of Sprint in January 1, 2022. I predict those spectrum, the PCS spectrum resources there, also to be reallocated towards 5G. So again, LTE, not the best experience on T-Mobile anymore. That's just the PSA that I wanted to make before I get the video. I know it's a bit longer, but I wanted to get this out there because I think it's more and more apparent. I did the extensive testing in the background, behind the scenes, and I'm noticing it. If you have an LTE 5G device situation in your family, check it out. Just test it. You'll see what I'm talking about. The experience performance is totally lopsided. It's insane, the difference now. So that's just what I wanted to make the quick PSA on, just to let you guys know. Start getting your mindset ready to start shifting into 5G devices in the future. And I know some of you may not have the capability to, or not right now, but even if it's 6 months or 12 months from now, start getting your mind ready to get into a 5G device. So in today's video, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the T-Mobile CEO talks up value and network in the 5G era. So and this kind of ties into the PSA, they're very focused on 5G now, because that's where the performance lies and the experience comes from. Everything that they're offering now, the Magenta Max, the home internet, it's coming from 5G. There is a app called Network Guru, and if your device is rooted, that app will show you very detailed network details. It shows you the bandwidth throughput on each of the bands. And recently I received a screenshot of one where band 66 and N41 were tested for bandwidth. And when the speed throughput was occurring, it pulled about 800 megabits per second bandwidth. How much of that bandwidth or throughput came from LTE? I think it was like 0.76. So none of that throughput came from the LTE side. The 800 megabits per second technically came all from N41. So again, that spectrum is going to be T-Mobile's prime workhorse. It's just going to happen. And the lesser that you guys see it on LTE and it moves over to 5G, the 5G experience, like I said, is going to be totally lopsided versus what LTE can do in the future. So if you want to get the best experience, the Magenta Max, the 5G home internet, you have to have a brand new upgraded N41 site to get the top-notch experience. And you have to have, of course, the devices to make use of the network. And that's pretty much what Mike Sievert is talking up. They started this back in 2018, 2019, N71, Broadest 5G network, now ultra capacity. They are really pushing that. LTE is forgotten about. They're not really pushing LTE anymore. They want people in 5G devices. They want to get the perception that they have the best 5G network. They are really pushing that. There's no doubt in my mind that they will continue doing this. They're not slowing down. The N41 is ramping up. N71 ads are happening as well where they haven't happened. So they are really pushing that agenda down people's throats. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They're really, really pushing that. And with the value, the recent discount that was reapplied to get it back down to $50 for the home internet, some of the free lines, Netflix on Us, they're pushing a value network incentive. So they're saying now we can offer the network experience and still maintain the same value. But again, that experience only is going to come from 5G. LTE is done. It's going to be a lost cause. It's going to be trimmed down to what HSPA was very quickly. You'll see 5 megahertz maybe left on LTE as a backup network, like a fallback network, kind of what HSPA was if LTE didn't reach. That's what LTE is going to be. But I predict in this era of the new technology, it's going to happen much, much faster than it did with HSPA and LTE. I predict within 24 months, LTE is going to be nothing. It'll be cut down drastically to where the experience is just the bare minimum. And 5G is going to handle the workload. So T-Mobile is going to work towards that. You're going to start seeing better deals. free phones. You're going to start seeing all that coming from 5G devices. So just keep that in mind. 5G seems to be the network that T-Mobile is going to bring to the U.S. consumer with the Magenta Max, the home internet. I mean, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know LTE really can't handle all of that traffic unless you put more spectrum towards it, and they're taking spectrum away from it. So that's pretty much what he's really talking up, that he can offer that experience, but only on the 5G network side, because that's where the bandwidth is, and they're really pushing that. I mean, they're really, 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 really pushing that. So just make sure that you really look into it, do some research. But if you want anywhere the type of LTE experience that you've had during the LTE era, you may want to look at Verizon and AT&T, because those two are still improving the LTE networks. But T-Mobile, forget it. They're finished with LTE. They are done. That is an afterthought now. They're going with 5G, largest network, 5G this, 5G that. They still haven't reached true parity on LTE yet. They still lag behind on total coverage size. But again, like I said, they're done with LTE. So as they expand the network, more towers go up, that'll all get 5G. That'll all be 5G. So their coverage expansion is going to say 5G, even though LTE will still be available, but it'll be mainly them saying, oh, we grew our 5G footprint by this amount of thousands of square miles. That's what they're going to reference in the future. Our 5G network has gotten bigger. That's how they're going to really talk this up in the media. They're no longer going to reference LTE. You can forget it. It's done. LTE is finished in T-Mobile's book. It finished the second they started rolling out that 600 megahertz and delivering the dual band radios. After that, it was over. No more. LTE was an afterthought. So let me know what you think about this, the whole LTE 5G debacle. Are you ready to get into a 5G device? Did you recently get one? Are you going to start, shifting your mind towards getting one? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you have been on the channel or you are new to the channel and you have not yet liked, shared, subscribed, make sure you do so. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when I do upload the content. Make sure to follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. Thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See you guys in the next one. Peace.